I had a restful day in Cleveland on the 30th, staying indoors and spending some time with my hosts. I left on October 1st, more than a little tempted to let Chanel take it from there. It was a hot day as I rolled out of the city and headed northeast. My ride took me on a pleasant stretch along Route 84 before hooking back on 20 into Ashtabula. It had been a long ride, so I was happy to reach town and spend my last night in Ohio. I did a dozen miles on Route 20 before finding my way onto Route 5. I crossed over into Pennsylvania, and I found the ride through the state's west end to be as enjoyable as my ride through its east end. Route 5 brought me into New York, state number 46. There was a lot of fog that had rolled in, keeping with me the remaining 25 miles to Westfield, New York. After getting food, I rode out to the park outside of town. Although I knew there was rain in the forecast, I opted to set up out near the lake versus underneath the park's pavilion. I fell asleep listening to the wind and the waves of Lake Erie. I woke up the next morning and rushed to get my things packed away before a bout of rain reached me. I was a few minutes too slow, the rain catching me as I ran for the pavilion. Thankful for the cover, I waited out the worst of it before setting out on that cold morning. It was a good time along Route 5. I enjoyed the comfortable shoulder while passing through some of New York's vineyards. Traffic began to pick up as I neared Buffalo, but I was able to hop on to the Shoreline Trail, which did a great job of getting me through the area. I ended my day in Grand Island, New York. The cold weather continued into the next day. I was able to use a couple convenient bike trails that took me the 9 miles to Niagara Falls. I spent some time at the falls before turning east, doing about 20 miles on highways before reaching the town of Lockport. Once there, I biked on the Erie Canal Heritage Trail, a towpath that I plan on following for the majority of my ride through New York. I set out for a carefree ride, enjoying the crushed stone trail that I had mostly to myself on a chilly Friday afternoon. I called it a day in the town of Albion, New York. From Albion, I continued along the towpath eastward. At that point, I was a couple days ahead of schedule, thanks to both a few longer days on the bike as well as more recently my lift out to Dubuque, Iowa. As I biked along the path, I was trying to figure out which day I was actually going to finish. It was clear that I was going to finish in less than 10 days, something that seemed too crazy to be true. The traffic on the trail picked up around Rochester, but never got too busy. It was a somewhat long day, with a steady headwind and more than 70 miles to go. I finished the day in Newark, New York. I wrapped up week 27 riding into Syracuse, New York. I was using both the Heritage Trail and Route 5 as I made my way to the city. I got flat number 8 along the way, but as it was a slow leak, I just pumped it up a couple of times to get me into Syracuse. I met another bike tour along the towpath, his journey taking him from Albion, New York to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was the first I'd seen since Nebraska, and so I had a good time stopping and talking with him before continuing on our respective ways. I got into Syracuse, not quite believing that it would be my last rest day before the end of my adventure through the States.